Okay, this is a quick example of how a teacher could use ChatGPT, just the plain version of it, the one we all have access to support the teaching of a multilingual class. So in this case, I'm going to pretend I'm a teacher from Umbumbulu in KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, and have a class whose most of the learners' first language or mother tongue is Zulu, and I'm a grade 5 teacher. I'm teaching them natural science and technology, and I need to understand how I can support their teaching in English, even though they are Zulu language speakers. So I'm going to start just by getting some more information, reminding myself of what the topics are in the South African CAPS curriculum. So in term 2, it's done a search for me and it's pulled out the topics, and then actually given me some suggestions of textbooks I could use and how to buy them. Very useful. Okay, but I'm gonna then get it to focus a bit more. So I'm gonna ask it now to summarize the key learning objectives and concepts for life cycles, grade 5 natural science and technology. And then again from the CAPS curriculum. There's the learning objectives, the core concepts that we need to cover, and some suggested activities. I'm going to jump straight in. I'm going to ask for a bilingual lesson to be planned for me. I've got 60% isiZulu and then 40% English, and I've given some requirements. All right, there we go. It's given me instructions in both English and Zulu, terms translated. Guiding questions I can use. And then key vocab in English and isiZulu. You can see there's suggestions on further steps to take as well. But I'm going to actually just ask it to pull out some key concepts and then translate them for me. So I've got them in both languages. Okay, super useful. All this I can do on my phone, right? You know, I'm doing it on a computer now, but I can do it on my phone with pretty limited data requirements. Okay, I'm actually going to ask it for a poster. That's the next thing I'm going to get. So I'm going to say, can you do a colorful poster for me with these terms and keep it simple, obviously at a grade 5 learner level. You can see creating images takes a little more time, but there we can see it starting to come through. And this is a poster that I could, if I had a projector, project it onto the screen of my class, or else copy it and WhatsApp it to the learners, or else, print it off if there's a printer in the school as well. And I mean, these images, we always feel that, an image is really a complete thing that we have to use as is. But with generative AI, you can ask questions. I could, ask it to change colors. I could ask it to put, different terms in there. Okay, it's providing the term and then also the translation and then the pronunciation as well. I mean, as a first sort of bash at it, it's pretty good, probably usable. but you could go back and forth and refine it some more. Then I'm going to ask for some of the guidelines from the capstock, so some assessment guidelines, just because I've forgotten what they are. And then it's pulling that from the capstock to say these are the types of assessments, formal and informal, the weighting of assessments, the assessment types I should be doing as a teacher, and then a link to further information from the DBE website. I'm going to ask it for a quiz now. So just extracting the assessment guidelines into something I can actually use, and I've asked for it in both languages, so isiZulu and English. And there's my quiz questions. It's given me a set of pictures to show, which I could obviously generate, right, quite easily. And then the quiz questions in English and isiZulu. You could actually turn that into a printable sheet as well. Okay, next thing I'm asking for some reflection questions just to get the learners thinking about what they've learned. And, something they could do in their workbooks. Again, in English and isiZulu, there's a sentence starter for each of them. You can make a poster of that as well. I'm going to ask for some suggestions on how I can use oral storytelling, so bringing in local knowledge and still connecting to the CAPS requirements. Saying work with a well-known isiZulu folktale about a local animal. Ask learners to share home knowledge, create a life story cycle. Use storytelling for assessment. That's a great idea. And then finally, I want to send something home with the learners, maybe up a WhatsApp group with the parents. I want them to know what we did in class today. And I'm going to ask for then a one-page flyer in isiZulu and English, which I can send home with the child or WhatsApp to the parents. And there it is. Please turn it to a PDF. It says branded with your school logo, so you could actually, make it even more customizable. I mean, this is just really, the tip of the iceberg, just showing what you can do with a bit of intuition and access to a tool such as this.